Alright guys, in this video here we're going to install some lift spindles. In the front, now I'm not going to do like a whole 100% do-it-yourself tutorial step by step. It'll just be a video of you watching me put them in and how I do it. So if you want to follow along, you can. If you want to give it a thumbs up, you can. Thumbs down, go ahead. Let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is take the tie rod in off because that allows you to swivel this thing back and forth and you have access to all the cotter pins and stuff in the back. So take your tie rod in off first and it'll allow you to swing this thing back and forth real easy. See how you just seen me swing it there. So now I can get behind everything super easy and take all this stuff off. You can see here now I'm taking the brakes loose, trying to get those all off. Got the brakes off. So from here we're basically just going to work on the lower and upper ball joint. There's cotter pins there, and that's about it for the ball joint part. Now you'll have to take apart the axle piece in the middle with the brake housing and all that. So that you'll see that later on in this video. So we'll start with some music here and get this thing to going. Alright, so here you're going to see me taking off the axle nut here so that we can get the whole brake housing and stuff off. This is where the bearings are located and all that. So you have to take all that apart in order to transfer this, the brake plate. I forget what they call it, the little plate behind it. But anyway, you got to transfer that over to the lift spindle. So it's easier to just do that with it all up and swing it around like that, because this one has that ABS sensor harness attached to it. So I found out it's better just to do it this way, and then that way you can just slap the new one up there and keep on rolling. Alright, when it comes to these ball joints, I basically just crank them down tight and snug until I get to the next hole, and that seems to do the trick. Basically, you see me here just putting some cotter pins on and getting them all bent, turned around. It's so much easier to do that, as I told you, with the tie rod end connected. Now here I'm basically putting that brake plate back on, and then we'll put the whole brake housing with the bearings and all that back on after this here. so here I'm just wrapping up the brakes, getting them cranked down so I can get them in this new spindle. It was a little bit tricky at first because it has to line up exactly right in order to go in the spindle correctly. So if you're having trouble trying to get it in the new spindle, that's the reason. So here we're just trying to get the caliper out a little bit more. Maybe one day we can actually upgrade these brake calipers into something better instead of these stock ones. But as of right now, we just have to run the stock stuff. So yeah, as you can see here, how we're having the trouble trying to get it on to the new spindle. It takes a little while persuading, but if finally you have to slide it in just right, and she'll go right in. Alright, so I'm about to show you the whole completed process here. Definitely stay tuned for the next couple of videos. We're going to have more of this process. But here it is all assembled together. Just to kind of give you a visual of what it looks like without the brakes. And that's about it for this lift spindle. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll keep going on with this process. This is with it, with the brakes fully assembled. Alright guys, so that completes this video of the lift spindle. Hopefully that will show y'all kind of how the way I put them on. Now I know it's not a tutorial and it's not showing you exactly, but just leave your comments below if you want more questions on anything, if you run into issues or anything like that. But definitely follow on with the next couple of videos. We're going to progress on with this build, but I'm just showing it to you in stages. So definitely keep following along and you'll get to finish and see the rest of this process of this obs C1500 95 rebuild we're doing and how she's going to turn out and look. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Give it a thumbs up. Until next time, keep her simple. Keep her